Water's important in this desert.
Fiji's my favorite too. I be getting parched out here sometimes. Literally stoked that you're here today.
I'm here? No, just kidding.
Yes.
I am here.
Have to play it. I'll just
You're the one editing your own episode, so I think you know what you're doing.
Oh dang, that's
right?
some real faith. You know what?
I have a lot of faith.
I know. When you kept thumbs upping things, I was like, is she thumbs upping because she likes it,
No,
or
yeah.
because it's mid?
No. No, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about how I am genuinely happy and have faith in this project.
Okay.
Here we go.
So who is Jean Munson?
Wow. Do you want my social security number? Some days I know exactly who I am, artist and educator. And then some days I just want to put those two little hats and just sleep on my couch all day. So I personally think in the height of trying to choose a career, whatever, I think one of the things I really wanted to come to terms with, which makes me a big old sap, is I wanted to be just a good friend. And that's not just, so people step on me like a welcome mat, but a good friend to myself, a good friend to humanity, and just good friends to the people around me. If you spoke to me maybe a year ago and back, decades back, I'd lose sleep over haters, that stuff really, I'd be dang, I'd still be thinking about a student comment for 30-ish hours, weeks later. And I'm sure that person's not losing sleep over me. And so at some point in dealing with the depression that I have had in bouts, I think something I really learned was okay, I'm just wasting my good health over people who really don't care. It's such a tough lesson to learn, right? Because everyone wants to be liked. I could be saying this stuff now and be like, nobody likes me, So I think I like to say out loud that it doesn't matter anymore just because I need myself in this 24-hour window to believe that about me.
Yeah. This makes me think of that meme you reposted earlier today of the mattresses.
Oh, man. That meme is drawn by cartoonist Gemma Carell. And yeah, it's the play on the princess and the pea situation. And there's all these positive comments, which are the mattresses. And there's just this tiny pea. And this is universal. A negative comment can really stew in your mind, ruin your day, ruin your health. I there's something I really like. I've been reading a lot of Stoicism, and some of the main theme is if you're going to critique me, are you also in the arena? Are you also, out here trying to do your best, be the most, So I think that's been a critical standard in determining if I absorb somebody's comment or not, their critique, their suggestion, all that stuff. So it's are they in the arena with me?
I want to talk about how we met.
Wow. What a time.
Yes. I really just want to take a quick second to say that it has been an honor, privilege, and blessing meeting you. And I know that sounds like I'm reading it, and I am, but that is really my writing. And I just want to share really quick, my first impression of you was the week of new leadership. I had applied the year prior to 2019, and I got rejected, which I never took personally, to be honest, until now.
I'm still mad at you, Jean.
I'm just kidding. No, but if anything, that made me want to try the following year. And Sheila Bach, she's the one who told me to apply.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks great. So anyway, the following year I applied, I got accepted. In my mind, the entire time as we're emailing back and forth, I'm thinking I'm talking to an older white woman.
Everyone always thinks I'm an old white woman. Even when people Google me, they'll see pictures of an old white woman. Catfish.
Yeah, because your email etiquette is so professional. It's just, and at the time I was even way less aware of how to email and stuff. So anyway, that week, I mean, the program had already started, and when you start the program, you're kind of on your own at first, kind of trying to see like who you can talk to, who you can connect with, and you don't get a chance to meet everyone immediately, you know? So we were walking towards the library, I want to say, but we were close to the bookstore, so we were on the other end of campus. And we were making that way towards the library. And I remember you walking with Mo, you guys were chopping it up, and then you were like carrying this box of tons of things. Like was
sounds
in that
like
box.
me.
But you were putting in like the legit groundwork for this program. And I remember thinking like, oh, who is that woman? It's also your aura. You just have a very like welcoming aura. And I know for you this could be both a curse and a blessing.
Gosh. Yikes. It's a superpower, but with great power comes great responsibility. You're right. I'm glad that's the image that sticks in your mind, because honestly, that's how I carry myself in everything, right? I used to watch Undercover Boss, and I always loved like the boss who was like, hey, remember me? I'm the coworker who helped out, instead of being like this person who was, totally terrible to them. And so I love rolling up my sleeves. I think every job that I've ever had, when I had a leadership position or even just the grunt worker, I'd be like, we're rolling up our sleeves, because I liked not just laborious work, but I just liked the connectivity of being a group. I don't believe in being a stuffy adult that looks like the old white lady on Google when you Google me, right? Like I just want to bring a bit of fun, like that magic school bus teacher lady, like that's the vibe that I'm always trying to, because I feel like that's most authentic to me. But the program, I'm glad that we became friends after the program. I have a lot of great friendships from that program. Man, I mean, those are some golden years of a career for me. And I think the wish that I've had when I ran that was like, I hope that every student felt that way, not in this admiration way, but like, that woman's really working hard, so we could have a great time. Because honestly, it's like MTV Real World, just no one's sleeping with each other, right? Like, we're just like, we're coming together, and I guess us odd humans are going to interact and like be awkward and learn and whatnot. So some days it'd be people are really emotional, or they'd have a really great epiphany, or they take stuff out on me. So it was like being the principal of a very tiny school. That then poofed away after a week.
Right. Wow. The way you described that is hilarious. The real world reference is killing me right now.
Especially because you guys made videos at the end, right? There's a video project to kind of show how much you learned. And it's like at the beginning of the week, you'd be like, we're going to show this to advertise the program. But there were so many hijinks that it was like too offensive and goofy to show these videos. But they were still endearing because of all the inside jokes. So you can't diminish that kind of creativity and silliness,
Yeah, I mean, personally, it was just the best program ever.
Thank you. I put my whole heart in it.
Yeah, that really translated into every aspect. I mean, there were times where it could have been triggering. I mean, the privilege walk was always...
What a mess. I'm still triggered talking about the damn privilege walk.
So, I mean, should we briefly talk a little bit about what the privilege walk was?
Yeah. Okay. So the privilege walk, the main objective is to learn how much privilege you have. But really, as somebody who's done this exercise and who's been dancing around these social justice circles forever, what I realize is like, that is so subjective. Anyone could write a list where you were so oppressed, or anyone can write a list where you were so privileged. And honestly, it's this measuring stick that was so broad over, that we've used so many times, that wasn't revamped or wasn't used to the best of ability in its own human error. And I would take everyone's problems home with me. If there's one thing I have been so notorious, as a recovering people pleaser, is that I take everyone's problems home with me. That's why, like, even though at the top of this episode, we're talking about how I'm acting like I don't care, that has taken actual manual practice to be like, I don't care, because I have to hear myself say it, because my default, coming from my culture, coming from my background, coming from my educational upbringing, it's like, you got to care all the time, So, yeah.
Yeah, and the privilege walk really makes me think of identity politics and this conversation I had with Carol. Because on one hand, learning about identity and intersectional identities.
Intersectionality.
Intersectionality. Why did I chop and screw that word?
That's okay.
I guess I just didn't want to be triggered by it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's important to learn about, but also to another point, like you said, people can curate their own reality, and if they are having negative thoughts, it's gonna reflect onto the identity politics that one chooses to embody.
Yes. Everyone, to me, whether you believe in a God or not, everyone has a belief system. And at some point, understand that your belief system could hurt people, right? Like whatever that is. I've seen it, right? I've seen, ironically enough, someone be like pro social justice, but their words are so angry that it doesn't call people in. And then people are like confused as to be helpful. So yeah, I mean, like, I just think we're just a bunch of like
literally
Sims who like, we don't even know who our player is, like behind these screens and stuff. So I just, sometimes it's just like, okay, maybe you missaid a word or whatever. Like, am I going to be like, well, this friendship's over? Like, that's silly, right? Like people can have room and grace to like, for error. Like we all mess up.
Yeah, and I think, with the different political parties, we have more in common than not. But just the way that the parties are dressed up, it's so polarizing.
And the rhetoric, right? Like
Rhetoric.
Brenda
has entered chat for me.
I know. This is your favorite thing, is the rhetoric.
My favorite thing.
You can have somebody who looks completely trusting and you're like, your rhetoric makes me scared. Like, that stuff matters.
It does. It really does. Yeah. So, okay. And, a part of something that I wanted to talk to you about today was about identity and belonging and being part of different communities. So, how has it been like for you having two different identities, one Pinoy, am I saying that correct?
Yeah, Pinoy.
One Pinoy and one American, right? Because you've lived here the majority of your life and you have visited the Philippines. And I know you're coming up on a trip, and your latest book that you're working on is about the last trip that you had last year.
Yes.
So do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think, talking about intersectionality, which is a bunch of identities in tandem working together, right? So you bring up being Filipino and being American, and it has always been a contentious in me, right? Like some days I'm like, woohoo, we have it figured out. And most days I'm like, it's like my brain can't turn off, right? Because there's this internal battle of like, wait, I want to speak up to my parents, but that's disrespectful. Like what is the narrative of what usually brown people submit to versus like, if the alternative is to be individualistic, then like, is that also diminishing what the other culture is? So it's a constant tug of war, and also a celebration to be part of so many worlds, right? Feeling like a little mermaid down there, like, I just want to be part of that world. But
cute part of your world.
I want to be part of the world. And then she was up there, she's like, ooh, actually, now I can't speak. Great, thanks. Like, so it's kind of like that. I think I'm in constant transaction of like who I could be. People talk about code switching. Sometimes I talk about this in my work where you like, if you live in the in-between, maybe you can write the new rules, like you could write like to do the different thing, or like you propose an idea that fuses them together. So, it's always been a struggle. It's been a struggle for my work because, at the start of doing comics, I critiqued my parents a lot, or, the environment I was in. And now as an older woman, like I can honor that these things are flawed and errored, and that's totally okay because I'm not the one to be fixing them, because also like I'm a product of this environment. You know what I mean? I'm in this stage in my life. There's only so much shitting you can do on everyone else for how much they've shitted on you.
Oh.
So it's a lot of poo, So it's a lot of poo. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my intersectionality.
So how do you find solidity in your identity? Is there even such a thing?
Okay, I don't know if there is such a thing, but in the, I really felt the heart of my identity when I went back to the Philippines. I went into a deep depression because I was like, it's such a different world in terms of like the speed of the people, the way they interact, just like even like how they're polite to each other or not. And it's just like when I came back here and I had to like put back on my American shirt, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like I've just entered the matrix and came back. And so it made me really sad and to confront that sadness, right? Because it's like, I think about kids that I'll have who have kids and so forth and so forth. And like, will being Filipino just be an echo or a whisper of something, you know? And that makes me really sad. Like, will people even know my mother on my family tree? So sometimes I can find a million reasons to get even more sad and whatnot. So I think how I deal with it is to deal with the feeling in front of me, right? If I am really sad or if I'm grieving a time and I'm not with my mom, I think that that's important because culturally for Filipinos, we repress a lot of feelings and share a lot of gossip. So, I mean, those can't be...
Chisme.
Right, those two things aren't that healthy, but we use them. And there's no shade because, like, what's the alternative? Is like, what, Western way of, like, talk therapy? When maybe their talk therapy is talking in a circle among their peers. So, again, I am always careful about what I impress upon is a good idea because it was marketed to me that way, you know, as a Filipino-American living in two different worlds.
All right, so... You told me that you're currently listening to Doechii.
Yeah. How did I discover Doechii? You know, yeah, she won the Grammys. And I was like, I want to know, like, why, right? Like, I really want to know why, because something that was very different with her was she wore braids. And, you know, a lot of female rap artists have been wearing, like, weaves, right? So I wanted to, like, what is her celebration on, like, using braids and whatnot? And when I hear her talk about how she used... her influences are from rap battles in the way that she composed her lyrics. I can hear it, right? And so people kind of akin her to Busta Rhymes, Lauryn Hill, and Missy Elliott. And you can hear it. You can hear it in her sound. So I really like the song, which is not the one that she won for, but it's Yucky Blucky Fruitcake, because it's conversational, but she also uses a lot of, it's almost like a play. There's a different sound for different sections or intermissions or acts of this very long song.
Okay, I think we should check it out a little bit, so because I've never heard it before.
Okay, go ahead.
So it looks like this is an older song.
Yes, it's one.
So you did some digging for this.
I did actually. I actually put her on my Spotify, and then this came up, and I was like, "Oh, this is the song, right?" And then a lot of people had discovered her with that song through TikTok. And she's an interesting story. I think she was an employee for Chipotle a long time, and she was let go, and then she decided to go pursue music.
I did see some videos of her like posting on Twitter that were circling around about how she was like, well, I just got fired from my job.
That's a bold move.
Yeah. I mean, even in this video, that's one of her less like commercially less popular, I guess. Yeah, because it's not as advertised as the other two, like Denial is a River and Nissan Altima, I think. But I like your point you made about her hairstyle choice. It's going against the like Eurocentric standards that, you know, most women kind of abide by.
Right. So she did pull out like a really good weave during Fashion Week, and everyone's like, whoa, she's so beautiful. And it's just like there wasn't much of a transformation other than hair change. She's still the same, but it's so interesting.
Yeah.
At that Fashion Week, that European Fashion Week or Paris Fashion Week, that like, oh my God, she's a beautiful woman. It's like a hair change, you know?
Right.
Use a good angry voice too.
Oh, I like her angry voice.
Yeah.
Did you watch her Tiny Desk performance?
Yes, it was so good.
So good.
So jazzy, as they say.
Yes. And I love that it was a full female cast. Like
with also all braids. And they all, the entire band looked like they had a good time, right?
Yeah.
And that says a lot. This part, when her mom comes in, the song completely changes.
Oh, wow. See, and I think this is something that you don't really see as often anymore. A lot of artists are making like just quick dopamine songs that just like hit immediately.
Yeah, she's telling a story.
And she has that component of including different elements, different styles in the same song.
I looked up the title of this, and it's from a Junie B. Jones book.
Oh my gosh, I used to love those books.
She loved that series too, and she really identified. Junie. And so this is a song dedicated to how weird
Oh,
Junie is and how weird Doechii is.
That creates so much more meaning
She's
to
deep.
this.
So many layers deep. Yeah.
I mean, I think that just really resonates with that generation.
Yeah. Goosebumps.
Literally. Okay, it just, see, I was like, yucky blicky fruitcake, no idea what that means, right?
Yeah.
But now, it just taps into some childhood nostalgia. Wow, that is so real.
Yeah, before her mom kind of cracks open the room, I think she's like exploring her queerness, right? I think she's about to touch herself or whatever. But yeah, like it's really what an adolescent is trying to process at that age.
I love when artists, especially like the non-traditionally inclined queer artists, do some queer shit.
Yeah.
Like especially rappers. And I see a lot of female rappers doing it more so than male rappers. Like I guess the one male rapper that just comes to mind is Lil Nas.
Oh, yeah.
Which he got a lot of heat for his queerness.
Yeah. He's still probably getting heat for that.
Yeah.
Because I haven't heard from him. Like,
neither have I.
It's been pretty quiet, buddy.
Right. Wonder what he's up to right now. Probably just living good.
Yeah, he's just like sipping a margarita.
But I love that about Doechii, though, expressing her sexuality and her queerness. She bad.
Yeah, this is a great music video. I think it looks low budget, but the music is undeniable.
Yep. And you know what? I know for a fact Doechii is UNC approved. So you know Maya and Rick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, real ones. Unc Rick and I, we be going at it because, you know, he is very anti, like, okay, why? It sounds like I'm about to start talking shit, but nah. Look, we just both have very strong opinions. He feels very strongly against like rappers who just show ass and what some people call pussy rap.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Because it's like female rappers who are a big theme of their music is sexual, like the hypersexual, like,
right.
push. So like for example, JT just dropped a new album. I don't know if it's a new album, I'll have to look, but she dropped a new single called Ran Out. And Motown actually posted it on their story because I guess they got bought out by Capitol Records.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I saw it was being posted by Motown and I sent it to Maya and Rick and I just said, please express your grief, it's fine. Because I just knew they'd be kind of bummed about it. And a lot of the comments are very much so like, wow, this is what Motown has like came down to. So there's different types of female rappers and Doechii just so happens to be both a bad bitch and also a lyricist and an excellent storyteller. Like she really embodies the full creative aspect versus like some other female rappers, they get heat for just talking about their sexuality or having like a shallowness to it, I guess.
Right.
Which can be argued, right?
Yes.
But just off the bat, and that's why I think certain artists make it commercially successful, like Doechii, because it's just an undeniable talent, like, and work that you can't ignore, really. Right. So
it's, I like Doechii fought too for her latest album. Like she told her execs, like, I want none of your opinion. Like, I'm just going to do it. So that's why she calls it a mixtape, because she just holed up in a studio and just like wrote whatever. Not whatever, but like she just went ham. Like, and I think there's some, that's very rare in any creative arena, is to not have somebody have creative say or control to create the product that needs to be paid for. So, I mean, she took it to the Grammys with that kind of attitude. So kudos to her.
For real.
That's hard.
It is. And it, just like in any art, that's like, for example, like all the early iterations of this show. Like a mixtape is just like, hey, this is my just fully unleashed creativity without any restrictions or pressure. And because having that pressure really could paralyze you, I think.
Yeah. And there's a beauty to something being, mixed up,
Kudos for like that knowledge you just dropped on us too about
do my research. No,
no, I'm really impressed. You also said that hold on. Not me reading my notes again. Well, because there's two separate parts that I want to talk about.
Mhm.
I still want to talk a little bit about like your upbringing and like how No Doubt influenced you. But I also
Mhm.
have some questions about like how you stay true to yourself and how do you practice self-love? Because I think
Mhm.
the type of person you are, you just give and give. But I think because you have such a strong foundation and it overflows into others and like you allow it
Mhm.
to be that. And even just you were on a podcast
Mhm.
right before this one with Kate. I love calling her Kate. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
how her name is spelled. But yeah, she's doing an amazing job as well. And I loved that episode of you guys. But when I was writing her, I told her, you guys did so good. And she's like, yeah, Gina's a powerhouse. And I'm like, she really actually is, though.
Oh, wow.
You just be like grinding, 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 like, and just you just be out here. How do you do it? And how do you keep it all together?
Thank you so much. And thank you, Caitlin. Gosh, sometimes it's a tough question, but I realize that, out of the 4 agreements, there's only one I really remember, which is your words are powerful, right? Like, ooh, sorry, I butchered that. But you know what I mean? Like, I remember I was hanging with my friend Dina this past Monday, and we were sitting at a coffee shop, and she's like, I'm going to be creative in color. And I said, well, I'm going to get 2 blogs done and edit this comic right now. She's like, wow, that's a lot to do in 2 hours. And I finished my second blog. I finished everything. She's like, girl, you just finished that, right? And I realized that has a lot to do, my productivity or like my motivation has a lot to do with practice, right? Like if I say I'm going to do it, usually I do it. But I also have to be very careful in the fine line of like the self-bully of like, well, you didn't do it. You're just terrible,
Oh,
right? We all have that little
yes.
voice that I think is created in our upbringing, especially as like brown girls, right? Like, because it's like, you got to be a certain way in order to make it in this country, right? So for me, that little Gene the police inside me sometimes has a loud voice and be like, you didn't do it, and then gets mean, right? And so I have to be very careful about how much this like magic productivity can actually harm me, right? Like, because sometimes I'll get really down and I'll be like, well, I still have 5 more things to do at 9 o'clock at night. And it really helps to be around people who remind you to give yourself flowers, right? Like, hey, all right, time to rest, time to take a breather. And so, yeah, I can borrow their voice for a little bit, but other than that, after a while, it's like, girl, go get some sleep. Sometimes I even get
Yes.
so in my feelings that I can't even find conflict resolution or problem solve. And man, will a good nap either in the afternoon or like an early bedtime can fix.
Naps do so much. They literally work wonders.
They really do. And you know what? They're cheaper than coffee and less addictive, right?
I'm gonna still drink the coffee though.
Yeah, right. Me
I'm still
too.
drink the coffee.
I've reduced it to one espresso shot.
Me
but,
too. I've reduced it to just hot coffee, like regular, like because the shot sometimes can be a little
Mhm.
bit too acidic for us, like sensitive
Right.
tummy girlies. But
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. But that's the center of my self-care, really, or my self-love is like how much rest I'm getting.
that is so big. I think it's understated almost.
Super. Because, self-care and self-love are commercialized, right? Like, oh, you got to go get that $90 massage. If
Which
that.
does sound nice though. I mean, I still also want the
If anyone's sponsoring some massage. So yeah, and just like another thing, especially I have ADHD, which is like you can go ham on some projects, like put me in a team setting and we're just gonna, hash it out. I'm not one to like fall back, but something I measure now in terms of getting a good workout in or getting a good meal in is like 10 minutes. Like, how am I getting 10 minutes that are optimal for me to be a decent human being? So sometimes it's 10 minutes of laying down or 10 minutes of a stretch, 10 minutes of walking my dog. And you'll be surprised at how that compounds after a while and be like, hey, I did an hour of just taking care of me without hurting the bank account, or like being addicted to something.
Yeah. And those free grounding techniques are actually the most effective because you can easily incorporate them into your daily routine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just not myself when I'm tired.
Oh, I do a lot of damage when I'm tired.
Yeah.
I hate it.
But also, like, your output, bruh, that is some prolific output. That's actually why I got you on here, because you literally make so much in every single space you've been in.
That's true. That's true.
Like, so you started off working at, like, a bakery straight out of college. You
knew nothing about baking.
You wanted to do something different, but you ended up majoring in history. And then, so now you're, like, working at a bakery, but you're still making moves at the bakery.
That's true. I was making moves at the bakery. Like, I still, I was part-time, even though I was baking till the cows came home. But yeah, I still took days off for like comics, or I still took days off to like really go work out and whatnot. And man, you ever look back at your old jobs and all the time freedom you had? And you're like, I used to think those were the bad days. And now they're the good old days.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's sweet that you look at them like that.
I know.
I think you also maximize everything that you can get out of a place. So, like, I remember watching this video of you from when you were working there on YouTube. Not me stalking you on different platforms, but in this video, it's like younger Jean, like freshly out of college Jean, and you were just so smiley. And even what you were saying in the video was inspirational AF. I was like, baby Jean's out here motivating me right now.
I know. I think in that video where they were trying to advertise like the people who bake there, they were like, I was giving out advice. Yeah, I was like, don't be fake, be yourself. And I think I was drawing all my coworkers. So yeah, like I think every space that I've been in has been an opportunity to be creative, Sometimes they squash it, but other times like I got to draw some pretty cool stuff,
So what are you up to now? What's your days looking like?
So, I am working on my newest book. And even then, like, sometimes it's overwhelming, right? To get another huge project. The last project I did took me 4 or 5 years to finish that book. And I'm trying to finish a book in a year, right? That's kind of lofty. But at the same time, I have to also understand and believe that I've grown, right? I've tightened up the technique to do things. I can't just be doing the same thing and kicking my feet that this is going to take forever. Like even though there's rest, there's also honesty, right? Like, I can also show up for myself the way I show up for everyone else in my Rolodex of phone, right? So that has been a constant practice of 2025 because it's been full of a lot of sadness, right? I've had some health emergencies from family members, deaths in my family, right? There's every reason to stay down. And it's okay to stay down for, as long as the grief is there, but just realizing the whole you can be after a while, like, wait, how do I get back? How do I get back up? So yeah, it's also realizing I'm not in control of everything, but the thing that's in front of me. And that's really hard because I'm a Virgo. I'm like the puppet master of some things. But like, for example, like my friend was making a major decision for his business, right? And basically he was like, oh, well, somebody wants to buy me out. And it's just like, he was just giving it away. And I was like, bro, like you've come up on a very successful business that you built 3 to 4 years. Again, I had to keep my advice to myself because I'm like, we're not that close and it's not my circus, right? Like it's not my circus, not my monkeys. But I'm like,
but you felt compelled to tell him.
I felt so compelled to tell him because I was just kind of like, I'm so tired of people who are deemed underdogs in their industry not giving themselves a shot, right? Because it's easy to be like, well, I guess they should be in charge of it. When really, like, I don't think we look at ourselves enough as the innovators of something, right?
Right. It's like you're calling out the throwing in the towel too early.
Yeah, right. And I think that's where I can be such a big mom friend, right? Like I'm so passionate and so caring about people who aren't my children, who are other adults, that I'm like, hey, don't do that, But
you have been really good at kind of unlearning some of those tendencies that happen on their own and being intentional about it. Because I remember there being a couple times where you're like, this is the mom friend in me. So it's like you're aware of it and you've cut back a lot, I imagine. I rarely ever have gotten that vibe from you. It's always been like solid, like just the right amount of nurturing. Please don't stop.
No, thank you.
It's perfect.
And I thank you for liking it because sometimes I'm just kind of like, especially my own family, they're like sick of it, which I get, right? Because
your parents are nurses.
I'm
both
right.
of them.
Like,
I'm What do they expect?
How do I turn it off? But yeah, I at this point in my life, I don't have any regrets for caring that much because as somebody who is now teaching the generation after Z, if that's even possible, right? Like, what are they called? When I teach high schoolers and like I look at how hostile or even sad or confused they can be, which all of us experience when we're teenagers, but like this is like next level because now you can record it and it'll live forever on the internet. I just want to keep practicing showing up kindly, but not a pushover, right? I can still make a funny jab. Do you remember that time when that solar guy came to my house and I was nice to him?
Yes.
One chance, then two chance. A shot. Super nice. Third chance, the beast came.
Oh, she came fully loaded. She said, "Don't fuck with me, bro." No, because at first you were polite, you were cordial. And
I shook his hand. Yeah.
And then he just kept pressing you.
Yeah.
So you had to do what
Dude, I squared up.
No, even I said, "Oh, I better get
Yeah,
going."
you were like, "Get behind the car, Koi."
And then Stitch was trying to leave with me.
I know. He's like, I don't want solar either. I'm out.
Okay, so before we start wrapping up, I want to show you one of my favorite artists. Okay. And so this actually is connected to a story with Cece. Oh. So Cece and I, one of the things we bonded with was that we both like this obscure like alternative experimental music artist named Yves Tumor. And so okay, if you know me, you know that somebody close to me really genuinely believes that I'm doing witchcraft on them, or at least has believed it a few times here and there. I don't know. Anyway, it's a touchy subject, but you know this about me.
Yes.
So I'm in the car with Cece and I'm kind of talking to her a little bit about it. And I'm just like, I don't know why, like, would even think that of me. Like, it makes no sense. And like, right after I said that, we put on Yves Tumor. And the song that was playing was literally the most, like... cult, witchcraft, demonic like song.
Just reaffirms all the theories. They've been debunked.
Yeah.
She a witch, y'all.
So it was just like the scariest, most frightening song you could listen. And I'm just like, oh my God. Me and Cece cracked up about it. But that is one thing that sometimes like I am interested in from like artists where like they incorporate like those themes like Baby Mother. I feel so cringe saying that sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, she includes a lot of like that kind of symbolism. I'm really not like a Satanist or like
that's okay.
A demonic person.
No judgments here.
Like I'm actually like I like being Catholic. Like it's just fascinating to me. And just the fact that there's that other layer kind of just makes this a little bit more intriguing. So I want to play it, but I can't find it. I can't find it on here.
So try and find it on my phone. Or?
Actually, I could probably pull it up on my Spotify.
What's the song?
It's from the Safe in the Hands of Love album. So the first song is called Faith in Nothing Except Salvation.
Okay, wow. It almost sounds religious.
Well, that's what's interesting about this artist is he grew up in the Southern Belt. And so it's interesting to me when people are shoved a certain religion down their throat, they end up resisting it by doing the complete opposite. So it's I see. Anything devil related is the direct antithesis of what they were being pressed up onto.
I get that because repression is, depressing. Like you got to swing the pendulum.
Escaping oblivion and overcoming powerlessness.
This sounds religious again. My first time listening to this after years of hearing about it. Can't wait to give my hot takes on it.
This is so much fun. It's like you're walking through some murky waters.
I feel like I'm a Ninja Turtle in the sewer, like right now. It's like
just just like, what's gonna pop up? I'm scared. So it kind of goes on like that for a minute.
A whole minute?
Well, this song is literally like 6 minutes long.
Wow.
So let's fast forward it a little bit. Then there's like this like scary chant. Yeah. So it sounds pretty diabolical. Yeah.
Are they talking right now? Is
Yeah.
the artist talking right now? Okay.
Meanwhile, there's like souls in the purgatory screaming in the background.
Mm-hmm. Let me just go bring out my seance stones.
So that's Hope and
How does it
Suffering.
end? How does the song end?
Okay, let's go to the end. So this is like 20 seconds into the end. Seems like the voices have stopped.
What do they use to create this music? Is it like a synthesizer? Or?
I think it is a synthesizer, but I'll have to look into it.
Okay.
But isn't it this album, Safe in the Hands of Love? I mean, I'm gonna show an image of the album art.
Will I be able to sleep at night? Okay.
So I used to show this to Terry. And he told me that he had a nightmare about it once.
Oh man.
Freaking
what
Terry.
A classic.
But I used to love screenshotting this and just texting it to him randomly.
You're such a troll. Okay, I have 2 questions about your song that you showed. First question, where do you play this when you're listening to it? Where are you? Are you like at the gym? Simulating you're in like an action-packed movie? Like I have...
Oh my God, I'm crying. I was not ready. Okay, I listen to this when I'm like alone, and the mood is very much so like I'm deep in my thoughts, reflective.
That makes sense.
Ooh, in my car. Oof. The first time I heard this artist was in 2019 after Newell, and it was like when I was living alone in that one apartment.
Woof, so scary.
So it was like I would get like super stoned, like I would get super high and listen to this, and it's just like,
man, you would really go on a trip, an adventure.
Well, hold on. I was listening to Limerence, which is a lot lighter and like cute, nostalgic. But this was like maybe down the road. Okay, I'm like mixing up like the timelines here. But I honestly have Cece gave me this album in vinyl, and like I'll throw it on sometimes.
That's love.
It really is. It's a good album. Like it has really good songs in there.
Well, I hope you play more Eve's Tumor for the rest of these guests.
Oh my gosh, I would.
So they can experience the whole 6 minutes. Like I just got the first chunk. But.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to this. Like I love sharing artists that I love and stuff. So, and I loved your pick too. So what would you like from me and people watching this or listening to this to take away? And also, how can me and the audience support you?
Okay. One of the things I think that people should be doing after listening to our episode is to listen to more music together and sharing, right? We just exchange joy. And now I have a soundtrack if I'm ever in the alleyway. Gonna fight villains, I guess. So yeah, give Eve's Tumor's whole 6 minutes a shot. And the way to support me is to just be a good human and read some good books. You know, you don't have to read my book. My book might not be the cup of tea, but I just think people should just be reading more when they get the chance to. So those are my 2 main takeaways.
Love it. Thank you, Jean. You're the best.
Thank you. Time to go fight some villains.
Okay, do you have anything for me?
Oh, $1 million? No, just kidding. Stitch's love, my dog's love.
God, I love Stitch.
He said, "What's up?"
Oh my gosh, I love
after
him.
yoga. But that's it. I don't have anything. I only have friendship, joy, and confidence in the show to who's that bee talking to.
Bee loved talking to you. That sounded so cheesy, bro. I'm working on my outro.
Okay. It's okay.
I'm shy. I'm embarrassed. When you try something new and it doesn't work. See, this is why preparation matters. Okay, love you, Jean.
All right. That's a wrap. Okay. What happens now?
I don't know. What happens now, Alex?
We did it.
What if I was like, you guys, we've made it. I know earlier in the year I said we made it, but this time we really made it for real, for real.